woman, with her newborn baby, had been adrift at sea for 3 days and 3 nights, their only shelter being a sinking container. She casually tossed the baby's diaper into the sea, which soon attracted several fish. She quickly fashioned a makeshift fishing net, but catching fish was not as simple as she thought. Just as she despaired, she suddenly saw a passenger plane appear overhead. Excited, she hurried back to the container to find a piece of glass, but on her return, she accidentally and unfortunately cut her thigh. With blood gushing, she quickly stood up to call for help, but the distance was too great for anyone on the plane to see her. To prevent infection, she disinfected the wound with strong liquor and then stitched it up with an earphone cable. The excruciating pain almost made her faint. To catch fish for nutrition, she wove a simple fishing net from the earphone cable. Placing the net in the sea, she used a diaper as bait and quietly waited for fish to bite. After a few minutes of anxious waiting, a fish indeed fell into the trap, and she finally had a full meal. Days passed. She had accumulated a good amount of provisions. To escape the danger as soon as possible, she wrote hundreds of distress notes. She then carefully placed them in plastic boxes and threw all the boxes into the sea, hoping someone would discover them soon. Had to regularly pump water out with a hose. Otherwise, if the container filled up, they would sink to the bottom of the sea. Worried about the baby getting cold, she poured strong liquor into a thermos, then lit it on fire to warm the baby. As her phone screen was damaged and she couldn't unlock it, she could only wait for her husband to call. But that night, her husband unexpectedly delivered grave news, saying he had been shot and was on the verge of death and might not be able to rescue her. Tearfully told her to live on bravely. The woman was heartbroken upon hearing this, but instead of complaining, she told her husband that she had given birth to their baby. Then she had her husband say some heartwarming words to the baby and even gave the baby a gentle name. Soon after, her phone ran out of battery, and they completely lost contact. Days later, the water level had reached its highest point. She had to prepare for the worst. Built a small raft using wooden planks and plastic boxes, so that if the container sank, it could still drift for some time on the raft. Soon after, the appearance of a seagull gave her hope, as seagulls indicate proximity to land. But the good times didn't last. That night, the ceiling strip used to plug a leak suddenly came off, and seawater rapidly flowed into the container. Seeing this, she tried to retrieve her stored food but unexpectedly got her foot entangled in a rope. Bliss, she had to dive underwater to cut the rope. After half a day of struggles, she finally managed to escape, but when she surfaced, the baby had already drifted away. She cried out loudly at sea, which unexpectedly attracted a whale. The whale deliberately splashed water onto the baby, startling the baby into crying out loud. This allowed the woman to locate her baby. She quickly swam over. Fortunately, the baby was safe and sound. Seeing this, the whale also turned and left. Drifted at sea for an entire night. The woman knew she had done everything she could. She held the baby's hand and spoke some reluctant farewells. Seeing seagulls appear, she took out the fish from a box, which quickly attracted a flock of seagulls. Coincidentally, a fishing boat was passing by. They noticed the unusual gathering of seagulls and quickly steered their boat towards them. They then rescued the baby onto the fishing boat. Following the clues, they found the woman, who was by then on the verge of death. Fortunately, the kind fishermen did not give up. After a period of resuscitation, they eventually saved the woman. It is hard to imagine what a woman had endured.